on this episode of the Business Communicators.
Alexa, it's game day.
Streaming football on Prime Video, closing blinds, chilling rosé.
Rosé?
Well, it's an afternoon game.
Oh. It's like she can read your mind.
You're listening to the Business Communicators. And now your hosts, Austin Stepp, Hattie Horn, and Thomas Bain.
Welcome into another episode of the Business Communicators, and I am thrilled to be joined by Hattie Horn, Thomas Bain, as this is going to be sort of a different episode, if you will, as we are discussing the Super Bowl. Not the game itself, but what happened during the advertisements. And we're going to talk about our favorite ads, our least favorite ads, and maybe some takeaways from advertising, marketing, and communications from the Super Bowl. But again, if you want to follow our work, just search at Biz Communicator on all the social media platforms. Of course, you can go to our website, thebusinesscommunicators.com. But Hattie, I've got to say, it was great to, spend part of Super Bowl Sunday with you. We had lunch. We didn't have Thomas there, but it was good to see you.
It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Always, anytime we get together, it's always a really good conversation. And the food was really good, too.
It was. We actually got a free appetizer, too. So if you apparently go to this restaurant that we went to and tell them that you've never been there before, which I hadn't, the manager comes up and gives you a free appetizer. So kudos to them for their hospitality. The wait staff, everyone was perfect. I think it was the Lucky Dog?
No, it's called the Lazy Dog.
The Lazy Dog. The Lazy Dog.
Northwest Houston off of Highway 290.
Highway not a sponsored, 6. Not a sponsored ad.
But no. But the food was good.
Absolutely.
Atmosphere was awesome.
Absolutely. And the company was great. But Thomas, we did miss you for, I guess,
Stop saying we.
Okay, I miss you, Thomas.
Okay, thank you.
I was going to say, I guess my invitation got lost in the mail.
Well, to be fair,
yes, you were missed.
I was looking at furniture for an upcoming move, and the place that I was wanting to go was actually out toward that area, and I was like,
in my part of town.
Yeah, I was like, Hattie lives just down the block. Let me reach out to her and see if she wants to do lunch. Turns out she ended up calling me on Friday after I texted her, and we were looking for mattresses, and she was like, "This is the one you need to get." So I didn't actually end up going to the mattress store. I just took Hattie's word for it because I trust Hattie. And so I was like, "Yeah, let's still drive out there and grab lunch." So
well, it's funny you mentioned that, and we're talking ads. I was like, were you going to the place that if the team who lost would have won, you would have gotten your mattress for free?
No, I did not go there. But so we're looking to order, a king mattress, and our listeners probably don't care about this, but I was looking at different online options, had done research, and was telling Hattie about it. And one of the brands that we had looked at, she's like, "Oh, that's the one that I have. It's the best mattress that I've ever, slept on." So I was like, all right, we've had two people, including one person that Katie trusts and one person that I trust, tell us that that's the best mattress. So done deal.
It spoke to me.
Yeah, exactly.
So what mattress is this? Since I need to know.
I'm not plugging it.
We can't plug it.
I will tell you.
Yeah, we'll text it. We'll text it to you in the group thread. How about that?
Okay.
Yes.
Sounds good.
I feel left out.
Yeah, exactly. Well, again, we want to spend this episode discussing the Super Bowl or the big game, whatever you want to call it, and kind of the marketing and communications angle behind it. And obviously, it's a huge day for advertisers throughout the United States. And here's a little data point for you. So according to an NBC executive, this fall, NBC was selling Super Bowl ads for record deals, closing at $6.5 million per 30-second commercial. That's an increase from the $5.5 million ask price in 2021. And apparently in recent weeks, according to Bloomberg and other media outlets, they reported that some ads sold for as much as $7 million. So if you've got that kind of ad spend, is advertising in the Super Bowl the best choice? Or should you spend it elsewhere?
I go with yes. CNN wrote an article about it. I think they said that NBC is coming home with about $700 million of worth of ad space just for the Super Bowl ads themselves. So I was sitting there and I'm like, wow, that's at least 3 months of operating costs for them, or a couple months of operating costs, depending on what deals they have going on in the back end. But you have 100 million people who are tuned in to the game, and this year was especially larger than that. And you have people who are there for the concert and a football game broke out. You have people who are there for just the ads. You have people who are there to watch the football game. But the advertising comes across, and it's all about how it resonates with us. And so I think it's still a good buy if you have the ad dollars to spend it. That's the kicker.
It is the best exposure for some companies and some brands, especially for brands who probably don't advertise regularly. It's an opportunity for them to get creative because they know they're going to be on the biggest stage ever and get the exposure. However, there are some ads that just did not land.
That is true. We'll get into that in a moment, but just some other data points for you. The viewership last year for the game, which was, again, during a pandemic year, was just under 100 million. It was at 96.4 million. Early data has come out saying that the year-over-year increase in viewership is up 12%, reaching 36 million households. So that's over 25% of the country was watching the game. Those are incredible numbers. But I do want to point out some additional data, and this actually comes courtesy of Brandwatch. And so, Brandwatch is a company that kind of monitors online traffic, data, information, analytics. And they said that collectively, brands that ran ads during the Super Bowl were mentioned 2,500 times per minute on Twitter during the runtime of the game. There were 560,000 tweets about these brands in the total in that time period. The brand which garnered the most overall mentions on Twitter was tweeted about 6,600 times in a single minute at its peak. And the largest ad reactions in terms of mention volume on all of Twitter all took place during the first half of the game. And in terms of sentiment or which brand they say won the Super Bowl, they actually said it was Coinbase, who had 79,000 mentions during the game, which is just an incredible number. And they said if you take all of the mentions about advertising during the Super Bowl, Coinbase accounted for 14% of the impressions.
I can believe that. That was the simplest thing you ever. It was just like if somebody had little marbles in front of your eyes. Your eyes were following it the whole time. There was no celebrity. There was just simple music and a QR code. Follow the bouncing QR code.
Yeah. I scanned it. Did you guys?
It only goes to the website.
Yeah, but you could win $1 million.
Yeah. My luck is not that good.
It's interesting you say about being tweeted, because I remember reading about it this morning that after it came out that it was Coinbase who did it, even though the little clip at the back end said it was Coinbase. After people scanned it, and then people started talking about, hey, you can win, or you get 15 free dollars of crypto right off the bat, it crashed the website.
Yeah.
Their website was not able to handle the amount of traffic that was generated from it.
It was up shortly after. So
yeah, my challenge with Coinbase is I have an account and I have no idea how to log into it. So
fair enough.
Okay.
But in terms of other key themes of the Super Bowl, with the game being in LA, just in the backyard of Hollywood, celebrities were definitely there. And so we saw a lot of mentions, according to Brandwatch, on of celebrities. And do you want to guess the top 2 celebrities? And this is just in terms of ads that were mentioned during the Super Bowl. I will say that 2 of them, the top 2, accounted for 49% of all mentions.
Kanye for his shenanigans.
He was not on the list.
What?
So what you're saying is we're going to get some shenanigans from him for not being on the list now.
No, well, he was in a commercial, he was in an ad, and then 2, he was posting BS that actually got as much exposure as the Super Bowl game.
Yeah. He's been going all in on TikTok and Kim Kardashian.
No,
Pete Davidson.
Both
of them. You know that Kanye song Gold Digger from, I think, 2008, 2007, something like that? He posted a video on TikTok this weekend about her, her doing her open monologue for Saturday Night Live a few weeks back.
The Breakfast Club was talking about him, and Charlamagne the God is hilarious. He has, Kanye has given Pete Davidson a new name, and it's called Skeet.
He doesn't like him. He doesn't like him. I did think it was ironic though that Kanye said that he doesn't want Pete Davidson around his kids, but the guy that he's sitting next to at the Super Bowl is one of the most problematic people, Antonio Brown. And so you had arguably two of the most problematic people sitting right next to each other at the Super Bowl. I just thought it was comedy at its finest.
Antonio Brown's not with his wife.
Yeah. But I will say the top celebrities mentioned. So LeBron James and Mary J. Blige were the top two mentioned, accounting for 49%. And the person that came in third, Pete Davidson. So.
Well, I can see Mary J. Blige because she also did an ad on for health.
Yeah. I thought that was a great ad.
I thought it was really good.
That was a good ad.
So that was just really, and then her performance. I'm sorry, that's my
she
girl.
crushed it.
That's my girl.
We'll get into the halftime performance in a minute, but three last notes that I wanted to point out for Brand Watch, because again, I thought the recap was incredible. So they give 3 tips. They say if you're in the market to spend the money and get a Super Bowl ad, you want to aim to have it air in the first half. The audience is more engaged, and the online discussion will resemble that. They said sponsoring the halftime show will always give you an advantage when it comes to online discussion, but that doesn't mean you'll necessarily be the most discussed. So we saw that with like Pepsi, for example. They sponsored the halftime ad. People weren't talking about Pepsi. They were talking about Dr. Dre. They were talking about Snoop, 50 Cent, Kendrick, Mary J. Blige. That's who they were talking about. And they also said that nostalgia was the single most powerful emotion a brand can hope to harness on the internet. They said they witnessed it with the Super Bowl ad in numerous ways, whether it was a QR code that mimicked old screensavers, the revival of beloved characters from movies past, or the songs that you used to tune up when you were younger. So they said that it was the easiest way to generate like an audience connection. So interesting data and insights from Brandwatch, and we'll include a link to that in the show notes below. So just scroll down, take a look at it. But let's go ahead and discuss our top ads, our favorite ads. Give us, maybe the top ones that stood out for you, and then we'll also show the video, and you can maybe hear the audio as well of each one of your favorite ads. So, Hattie, let's start with you.
The brothers ad for Toyota, that was just so amazing to me. The bond. I think I had tears throughout the whole thing. You talk about emotional grabbing. It was beautiful. And how those brothers, when his and the ad was about a brother. They were he was training for them, but he went blind. But his brother helped him to still prepare for the Paralympics. And you talk, man, I said, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a great story. And if you haven't seen the ad, maybe we know that like 30% of our listeners and audience live outside the United States. We'll go ahead and play it right now.
You ready? Let's go. Slowly.
Coming down to the wire. This really is the stuff of Olympic dreams.
Come on, Slowpoke.
Ryan, we have found that you have a condition known as Stargardt macular degeneration. This is a genetic eye disorder that causes progressive vision loss. At this time, there is no treatment.
Let's go. Right. Over. Tree. Come on.
All right, let's go. Up.
Go, right. Push. Come on, 12 seconds up. Push.
Thomas, I absolutely love that ad, especially, as someone who's been to the Paralympics and seen some of these like superhumans compete. It's just incredible to see their stories, and to, Toyota has been a huge partner of the Paralympic movement for, at least 2 games now. And, they do incredible work promoting, diverse athletes. And I thought the ad was incredibly powerful. And it was one of the first ones that I noticed. I think it was in the first quarter.
It was.
I think it was commercial break 2 or 3, somewhere in there, going back to, you're still really in tune to what's going on. They haven't started redoing the ads again and again. It was definitely powerful. I enjoyed it as well, but I also think timeliness because it is in the middle of the Olympics, and then Paralympics is coming up right after that. So it kind of tugs on your heartstrings. It tugs on the timeliness. It tugs on a bunch of other stuff that kind of comes from there. I think that's amazing that they could do that, and then also take it through your shoes. The cinematography was phenomenal, where they this is what
absolutely.
he's seeing as he's going through and hearing his brother's words. So it wasn't just the story; it was like you're being transported there into that mindset.
Yeah, absolutely. So kudos to Toyota for that ad. Started the Super Bowl off in a strong way. And again, if you want to watch the Paralympics, they start in March. So tune in. Some great athletes, stories. They are just inspirational. But Hattie, were there any other ads that stuck out for you?
Chevy, the Jones. I'm sorry, Leslie Jones. I'm a big Tommy Lee Jones fan. And then it ended with keeping up with the Jonas brothers.
Yeah,
that was funny.
No, my favorite was Tommy Lee Jones's last lines, like, try to keep up, whoever the hell you are, as he's driving off.
But you can tell he's old school, old generation. He did not know what a new generation was.
No.
That was perfect. That was perfect.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty creative ad. So
that was good.
Yeah. Thomas, don't give us your top ad yet. Give us some ads that stood out to you. And then we'll kind of do like an unveil of your
So 3 ads stood out to me. One of them was the Jonas ones because Jones brother, keeping up with the Jones, because it's like, okay, who's that person? Oh, that's Kim Jones. Oh, who's that person? Oh, that's Leslie Jones. Oh, who's that person? Oh, what's Jonas Brothers doing in there? So that one kind of stuck out with me, and then the ending of that one was just perfect. Another one that stuck out with me was the Rocket Mortgage ad. And not for the normal reason. So
that was the Anna Kendrick one?
Yes, but there was an ad inside the ad. So there was another one. And one of the scenes when one of the kids he's wearing a QR code. And so they partnered up and did a co-op with Ad Stock X. So if you scan the QR code, you'll also register to win, and you invest $1 or something like that. You'll register to win like $3 million or something like that. So a little Easter egg for you all. I thought that was always interesting when you start to see those collabs kind of coming through. And then the last one is the Alexa. If the Alexa could read your mind.
That was a good one. We'll go ahead and play it right now, and then we'll come back and talk about it in a second.
Hey, babe, check this out. Alexa, it's game day.
Streaming football on Prime Video. Closing blinds. Chilling rosé.
Rosé?
Well, it's an afternoon game.
It's like she can read your mind. Your mind. I love that we get to sleep in.
Ordering fresh mint mouthwash. Extra strength.
I was thinking I should get a spray tan, because that's on Wednesday.
Activating blender.
Funeral's on Monday.
What about the gold, Papa?
Can't you see? The treasure all along. It was here.
Love the eye patch. When does the show open?
March 8th.
Setting reminder to fake your own death on March 8th.
What the?
When you have to do those love scenes with hot guys, is that fun or is that like the worst?
It's the worst.
Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies.
Scarlett, this bread is delicious. Did you make it?
Yes, it's from my Gammy's recipe.
Announcement. Gammy is short for she bought it at Whole Foods. Announcement. Colin left the oysters in the car for 5 hours.
It's probably better Alexa can't read your mind.
Bad idea.
What's the game?
So you had some star power in that ad. And I will say that I like, I'm a huge fan of ScarJo. So always great to see her in an ad.
Yeah, but I like it because it's what everybody's saying is they're listening to me. They know what I'm thinking. They're doing this, they're doing that, especially in the digital space of it. And so it just kind of poked fun at what everybody's already thinking. So that's why I thought it was funny. And it had the humor. It had the storyline to go with it. It had the micro moments. And it doesn't hurt the fact that those are some extremely talented actors and actresses that are in that ad.
Yeah. I loved it. Just leaning into the humor and the conversation around like Alexa, Google devices, and I thought it was great. Very well done. Like I saw for me, there were a few ads that stood out. I think first off, the one that I found the most interesting was Coinbase. With the QR code that was bouncing that ran in the first quarter, and immediately I took out my phone and tried to scan and to see who was advertising for it. But I do want to give a quick shout out to Coinbase for giving the people what they wanted and letting the QR code actually hit the corner. Because if you grew up in the 90s or watch any of those like DVDs or, the screensavers, you always wanted to see that image hit the corner. So I thought it was interesting. Interesting choice, for a $6.5 million ad, but at least the, the creation side of it, and the production side was, relatively low spend. But other ads that stood out to me, the robot dog from Kia. Meta, which is Facebook, had the Meta Quest 2, which it showed like the animatronic dogs, playing in a band, and then they were separated and they were able to reunite in the metaverse. I thought that was creative and interesting. I love the Doritos ad, which was somebody dropping Doritos in the forest and the sloth finds it. I don't know. I found it funny. I think it was the only one that I actually laughed at. Toyota, Start Your Impossible, the one that you spoke on, Hattie. And then my favorite ad probably was an ad by GM featuring Dr. Evil. We'll go ahead and play it right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, our takeover of General Motors is complete.
Dr. Evil, we can now use GM's Ultium platform to power our whole operation.
Now we can reduce tailpipe emissions.
I'm sorry, am I no longer Dr. Evil? I'm Dr. Good now? I didn't get the meme.
Climate change is arguably the #1 threat to the world now.
Dr. Evil, you are now the #2 threat to the world.
I refuse to be number two.
We have to help the planet.
Oh, please, cheer.
For my son.
Your son? I shall name him Baby Me.
No, his name is Kyle.
Oh!
You must help save the world first.
Then you can take over that world. Okay, Frau, how about you let me do the business, all right? Hold on, I've got it. I will help save the world first, then take over the world.
She literally just said that.
Scott, you just don't get it, do you?
What? What don't I get?
You don't get it.
Oh, we're right back.
And you're never gonna get it.
You can't draw me into these little... You act like a child.
Here it is. You don't get it.
I am an adult. You can't push my buttons anymore.
Stop! Oh! We'll reduce our carbon footprint.
Whatever. Okay, let's go. We're going all electric.
Everybody in!
Not you, Scott. One day you're gonna run the company, Baby Me.
I loved Austin Powers. I thought it was, great comedies, with Mike Myers and really a lot of the cast comes together from those series, and they're in this ad for GM. And honestly, I think it was I want to say it was like an EV, an electric vehicle ad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not 100% certain.
It was,
but I thought it was great. It was something that was memorable, and I remember the brand and everything like that. So, yeah, it was my favorite ad overall. But there were some good ones. Toyota was probably up there as well. So,
well, Toyota had they had several.
Yeah, I think they had 2 ads, like one in the first half, one in the second half. The first half was more, kind of like tugging on the heartstrings, and the second half was more of like, here's our product. So,
well, what did you think about Squarespace, the one with Zendaya, the Sally Seashells?
I don't know that I remember it.
Yeah, it was a tongue twister on top of a tongue twister on top of a tongue twister.
Unless you're a Zendaya fan. And you watched the show Euphoria, which was airing right after the Super Bowl. And I actually watched the show when I got HBO free for 1 week or whatever. And I did watch it, and I was like, oh my God, that's a really dark show about teenagers. But it's a very popular show. And the ad, I thought, showed the opposite of her character. And I think the people who are her fans probably really liked it because she's big, and she's also in Spider-Man.
She's got a huge fan base.
Yeah, because she's in Spider-Man too. Whatever that new one is. So yeah,
she was also in Dune, I think, for only a few minutes, but the marketing team behind Dune realized how popular she was, and so in the promotions and the trailers, they highlighted her, which I think really got people talking, people interested in seeing her. So kudos to them for like knowing
Well,
who these like actual influencers are and
but at the
putting them
same
in.
time, it's similar to what they did with Aaliyah. Aaliyah, whatever that vampire movie, The Damned, she
Yeah.
only had about 30 minutes, but they highlighted her as like the real star in it.
Gone too soon, by the way. Gone too soon.
Yes. So, and it's 20 years this year.
Oh, wow.
So the way they did Zendaya for having 3 minutes in a whole movie, or maybe a little bit more, I don't know. And she's not the star of it. I think people really capitalize on this stuff, but it also misleads her fans.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
think she has a bigger role than she does.
I think Ana de Armas's fan base is suing one of the movies because they took her out and only put her in for like 5 minutes, and they used her for all the marketing. And so her fan base is like now suing the company for false advertising on that end of it. But it's interesting. You were talking about ads that were good, the Coinbase. But as for advertisers, I think you have to think through the ramifications of it. It crashed the Coinbase site.
Yeah.
But I think the avocados from Mexico is another perfect example. So the ad was, it was okay at best. It wasn't something that was very memorable by any stretch of the imaginations. It wasn't terrible either. But it's not Super Bowl quality ad, to say the least. But the interesting thing is the day before the Super Bowl, or 2 days before the Super Bowl, United States banned the import of avocados from Mexico. Because the inspectors that are down there are getting threatened by the cartels, and they said, we're not going to import any more things. And so it's like, what's your, you got a bad timing. You hit the nail on the head. It's like, congratulations, the Cincinnati Bengals for winning the Super Bowl. Wait, huh? Same concept. But who I think really missed the boat on some advertising, especially as we're talking all the cars and trucks and things like that. I'm heartbroken that Dodge didn't pull something out of the hat to the Dodge Rams.
Oh yeah, with a Hemi, because they've been. I mean, you mentioned that, and I actually had it in my notes prepping for this conversation. There were 7 total Super Bowl ads that had some sort of mention of electric vehicles. You had BMW, you had Polestar, Silverado EV, the Kia, the GM, their 30 EVs by 2030, Nissan, and the Wallbox, that EV charger. And so I really thought that we would see like a Dodge come in there, like you said, because they basically said, we know what we are. We're not going to get into that EV space. Now, whether or not that holds true in the next, 5 to 10 years, that's remains to be seen. But that's another question that I had, is because we saw a lot of cryptocurrency ads. We saw a lot of electric vehicle ads. And if you're paying $6.5 million for an advertisement and you've got 7 other brands discussing the exact same thing, are you really cutting through the noise? Is spending $6.5 million on an ad in which everyone else is doing the exact same thing, are you really differentiating yourself from other people, or should maybe you spend that elsewhere?
Apparently, as you said, apparently not, because you just listed all the people who seem to win the Super Bowl with their ads and the cryptocurrency and the QR code.
But that was Coinbase.
Regardless, the other folks didn't win because they had nothing original. They had nothing fresh other than an electric car ad. Some of the car bodies were beautiful. You really want now BMW. I really like that ad because the car was beautiful.
That was a pretty car.
That was a pretty car. Anybody else, all the others, I didn't remember them as much.
And it's interesting. You talk about the cryptocurrency. Even the Travelocity ad had cryptocurrencies in the background and other cars in the background, things like that. I was just saying, hey, you Dodge Ram, you sell a truck. There's a football team named Ram that's in the Super Bowl. Have some fun with that.
Perfect.
Yeah,
that would have been a good one.
Yeah, that would have been a good one.
Like, just have fun with that, just across the board. It's like Wrigley Field in Chicago. You think bubble gum when you're going to see a baseball game up there, even though the bubble gum doesn't have anything to do with the baseball stadium.
Yeah.
Some people make a conscious effort not to make the effort.
Well, something that I saw that a lot of brands did is they really focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion in their advertisements. A lot of brands had diverse actors diverse, and I don't mean like celebrities, but they had like diverse, screen actors. They talked about like disabilities, mental health. So they're really focusing on those issues. And I don't know that I've seen that a ton over the past few years. We've seen it a handful of times, with these more emotional or serious ads. But I felt like we started to see this a little bit more this year.
I think we could have expected that given the past 2-3 years.
Yeah.
People are actually listening. So the ads that they put together were wanting to resonate with people who were being affected by all of these things. It's nothing new. I mean, when you think about Simone Biles and mental health, and they put that out there, and everything that is going on in this world, then they should be applauded because they're listening. And they're paying attention to what people not so much want to see, but resonating with people who are actually living a life.
You hit the nail on the head about the ads with the people living the life. Because I remember the diversity 5, 10, 15 years ago where it felt forced. Like you'd see the ad and you're like, wow, so good. You put the X person in there. Where this one felt more natural. Like this is what society really is. And this is what it looks like to certain extents. And so I like that. It's like I did notice the diversity inclusion, but it didn't feel forced. And so that's why I kind of liked it a little bit better.
Yeah, I thought the best one that, at least the one that stands out to me, was the Google Pixel ad in the third quarter. That was one that really, I thought.
Yeah, I thought that was a good ad.
Yeah, did a good job.
If you really think about it, Super Bowl, all the past ads, everything is a party. Let's get the dance and all. Let's get to this. They just left it to halftime to do that this time. The ads were more human.
Yeah.
If you really want to give it some sort of label or whatever, but it resonated with real people this time. It wasn't fantasy. It wasn't just entertainment.
We'll get into the entertainment here in a second, but I did want to close with this on the ad front. So sentiment is something that's important. How do people perceive you? Is it positive? Is it negative? In terms of the general sentiment overall, booking.com actually had the most positive sentiment among Twitter users, with 94.9% of their mentions being positive during the Super Bowl. Sam's Club, the one with Kevin Hart going around saying like, oh, this is VIP air. This is the nice little VIP section.
Yeah.
That had 90% positive sentiment, and Expedia saw 87.8% positive sentiment. On the other side was the Q Health. If you remember that was like the at-home
COVID test.
Yeah, which was a little bit weird.
Yeah.
They saw 71.3% negative mentions, and most consumers actually thought that the tech was unnerving. So interesting. I don't know if that's based on like COVID fatigue. I don't know that I found it unnerving, but when I watched it, my eyebrows raised, because I don't know, like it just seemed like I know we still have to take COVID-19 seriously, and we again have stressed that everyone get vaccinated, get boosted, but I don't know, like I'm tired of hearing about COVID-19, and I don't want to hear it in an advertisement during a game in which I'm trying to find joy and happiness.
I don't think people trusted the technology. And when you really looked at it, and I know they were taking you through the steps and everything, it wasn't so much unnerving to me, other than I didn't feel like it was going to make a big difference.
Yeah.
I think they tried, but it was like, whatever.
Two things through my head was how does this work? Because they try to take you through it, but it never really showed you how does this work. And then the other part of it is can we trust it? Because new technology, new testing, the Theranos trial is still going on right now, and she was supposed to revolutionize a bunch of the testing that's been over the media. It's starting to lose wane, but it's there. And so I'm on the same page. I was like sitting there, I'm like, wrong time, wrong place.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have kept that. They could have saved their money.
Yeah. Well, if you had $6.5 million to spend on an advertisement, let us know what you would do with it during the Super Bowl. Or would you just maybe spend it on digital ads instead and maybe get more bang for your buck on that sense? But if you want to let us know what your favorite ads were or your favorite brands that stood out to you, let us know in the comments on LinkedIn, Facebook, or whatever social media platform you prefer. Just search at Biz Communicator on all of those platforms. But, I think social media absolutely lit up during halftime with the most nostalgic halftime show, and probably easily one of the top 3 halftime shows of all time. I think you've got Prince, I think you've got Michael Jackson, and then probably this one up there. I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
You talk about the social media sphere. I'm like, everybody's like, when's Tupac going to show up? Are they going to do the hologram of him?
Well, that was like a heavy rumor. Apparently there was like leaked footage, and I think they were maybe trying to do that, but maybe it just didn't work with the lighting or something. But
yeah, I think the unexpected pleasant surprise for me was 50.
Curtis Jackson.
50. I thought it was well done. I thought it was just the right amount of time. It wasn't too long.
And they played all the hits.
I thought they could have gone for hours.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought Eminem ended it just right. My girl Mary J. Blige, that's my girl.
Dude, she looked like fire.
But every one of them did a great job. So Dre Day was truly Dre Day.
Yeah, I thought it was incredible. Just a great production. I don't know if you saw the video clip that ended up being shown after, but there were actual like prop bets on whether or not that Snoop Dogg would smoke weed on stage. And he didn't do it on stage, but there was a video of behind the scenes of like him about to go on stage, and he's like kind of huddled up like on the staircase behind the cage, like getting ready to go on stage. He's got his mic ready, his earpieces in, and then he like takes like 2 hits of a joint and
That
it gets on stage.
That did not take away my joy from the show.
But it was hilarious. Everyone's like behind the scenes of Snoop Dogg getting warmed up for the big show.
Hey, knock himself out. Do what you got to do. You're in front of all these people.
Yeah, I actually saw him at a Super Bowl party here in Houston. What was it, 2018, whenever the Super Bowl was in town. There was some country artist that opened, and then the Chainsmokers performed, and then Snoop did a surprise appearance. And I think he played from like 12:30 to 2 a.m., something like that. And a lot of people were starting to leave because they had no idea that he was going to be there. And it was incredible. So much fun.
I'll bet.
It was a blast.
I thought halftime was great. I thought Mickey Guyton did a good job with the national anthem.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nobody beats Whitney, but she did a good job.
Nobody gets close to Whitney.
But
who was the artist? Who was the artist that did
that was
America the Beautiful?
Janae Aiko.
I had never heard of her.
What?
Her voice was incredible.
She has a slew of hits. She's been on quite a few folks. She sings hooks with Chris Brown. She has her own music. If you ever listen to 93.7, she's a beautiful singer, really great singer. She's big R&B.
Yeah.
She did a really good job. I thought she did good. When Mickey Guyton tore it up, she did a great job.
And for you degenerate gamblers out there, she went over. A lot of people, I guess she had sung the national anthem like once before and blazed through it like incredibly fast.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of her, I guess her pace generally for singing, I don't listen to country music, but I guess her pace is generally pretty slow. And so before the game, sports bettors were actually saying that her nickname was Quickie Mickey, just based on like how fast she would get through. But the overhit, because it really extended Home of the Brave, it really let that play out. So
yeah, she was trying to do the Whitney Brave. She didn't get that far.
No, definitely not.
I'm sorry, I'm very biased.
I mean, Whitney Houston's an icon.
Yeah.
I mean, she's an icon.
That's my girl. You can't say nothing bad about her.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone.
Voice is beautiful, and she actually did the best.
Oh, nobody debates that
national anthem it has ever been done.
Yeah, nobody debates that. I mean, there's not even anyone like in her category.
No,
but
we could talk about the best halftime shows, and it's up for debate. Like whether you liked Prince, whether you liked MJ. I don't know, Paul McCartney. He wouldn't be up there.
I enjoyed Beyonce when she did.
Beyonce was good as well.
She did a good job.
Yeah.
What was the one last year with all of
Yeah.
See, I don't even remember them. I didn't even.
But they've gotten. I think the ads overall have, or the halftime shows overall have gotten better. But one thing that I did think was interesting is Eminem. Apparently, there was some like controversy before kickoff on Sunday, and he had full intention of kneeling during his performance to support Colin Kaepernick. Who did that in 2015, 2016, when he was kneeling for police brutality. The NFL apparently, allegedly, told him that he couldn't do that. He did it anyways. And the NFL afterwards said, they denied any reports saying they didn't, want to stop Eminem from making the gesture. But I think Shady basically said, forget about Goodell.
I think he said. I think the 3-second time lapse was well used during the halftime show for some of the songs, but I think also that one of them was the "Forget About Goodell" was edited out because somebody hit the mute button.
It was interesting though to hear some of those songs. The clean version of the songs,
the radio edit,
the radio edits, because I'm used to listening to Spotify now, and so or hearing them out and you hear the real audio. But anyways, I thought it was fun.
It was good. It was all good, no matter what you say. Kendrick Lamar was good. They were all good.
I remember growing up and trying to find those albums and being mad when certain stores wouldn't carry the real songs and they would only carry the radio versions of it. And you're like, that's not how this song goes.
The clean versions. Yeah. Like Walmart would do that. Gosh. Yeah.
And if you weren't paying attention, you bought the wrong album because one little thing is before the little ratings on the lower right hand corner of it.
Okay. So I got to tell a quick funny story, and this is unrelated to the Super Bowl, but I think it was 2008, 9, 10, somewhere in that time frame when Redbox was a thing where everyone went to Redbox to rent movies, DVDs. So the Day After Tomorrow, or whatever that, kind of Ice Age, reappearing movie came out. It was out on Redbox, and I guess they had two titles that were very similar, and I wasn't sure which one was which. I got the wrong one apparently. And while we're watching it, we're like, this seems different. Where are the main stars of this film? And it was almost like the same type version, except it was a Left Behind version. So I was like, that's not what I expected. This is a little different than the huge blockbuster movie because the production quality was terrible.
Really?
Somehow it ended up in Redbox.
I never used Redbox for some reason.
Well, now we have.
Yeah, Redbox is great.
I had bootleg.
You did not hear that. We'll delete that from this episode so the feds don't come for you, Hattie.
Oh, they're all gone now, so it doesn't matter. I had music. I had movies. I had.
What's the statute of limitations on copyright infringement?
Well, we're way past 10 years.
Well, they can't arrest me. I got it from somebody else.
You didn't know, Hattie. You did not know.
We did not know.
Well, this has been a fun episode of the Business Communicators. A little bit different than what we normally do, but we wanted to give kind of our analysis and insights on, the marketing communications elements of, the biggest TV event of the year. And it was fun. I enjoyed the discussion. Of course, if you want to follow us on our social media platforms or give us any feedback, what you liked about the big game, what ads stood out to you, what did you think of the halftime show? Was there anything missing? Did you think that Cooper Kupp deserved the MVP, or like me, did you really, really want it to be Aaron Donald for about 750 reasons? If the answer is yes, let us know by searching at Biz Communicator on all the social platforms.
He got hurt and had to go.
No, that was OBJ. Aaron Donald.
Oh, that's right, OBJ.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Aaron Donald. That's right.
He's the guy who got the sack.
Oh, they should have gave it to him for going out.
Yeah. But anyways, follow us at businesscommunicators.com. And we'll be back next week with a conversation with Shiv Malik. He's actually going to be, I think, our first 3-time guest on the podcast. And I think it's going to be the first time where I'm not just having a conversation with him. So hopefully Thomas and Hattie will be able to join that conversation as well. But we're going to talk about NFTs, data privacy, cryptocurrency, all that good stuff. So be sure to tune into that. Thomas, you were saying
whether
something
Alexa can really read our minds. I'm going to ask him that question.
Okay, all right.
We're talking
Fair
about
enough.
NFTs and AI. Might as well throw that out there.
Find out next week what Shid Malik has to say. So on behalf of my co-hosts this week, Hattie Horn, Thomas Payne, my name's Austin Staton. We'll see you next week. Take care, everyone.
You've been listening to the Business Communicators. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to our podcast on iTunes and leave us a 5-star review.